When was the last time you were bored?
No.
No, I mean really bored.
Yeah, right now.
Okay, when was the last time you were bored before right now?
I don't know.
Surely you must get bored sometimes.
Not really.
What? Oh, wait. Does your boredom normally look something like this?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. So I'm 7 days into a 30-day experiment where I am forgoing technology that usually tends to distract me. And so far I am rediscovering what it's like to be bored. Before this experiment and for the first few days of this experiment, I feel like in my head, boredom had so many negative connotations surrounding it. And I feel like that stems from so much of the technology that's brought into fruition that surrounds us now is almost like it's been invented to cure our boredom, because being bored is boring. And I, without realizing, had become someone who was never really that bored, because I always had screens to rely on as a way to entertain myself. What I've really noticed through removing technology from myself is how consumed everyone else is by it. It's like when you go off sugar and then you realize how much sugar is in everything that's surrounding you. So everywhere I go, someone has technology at the touch of their fingertips. Like on the bus, everyone's on their phones. Walking around on the street, people are looking down at their phones. I feel like all this technology that we have at our fingertips is just to help us be on guard for when boredom might strike. And so we enter this state of never really truly being bored. And because we have so much access to this stuff, or at least this is what I found, I think we've forgotten what it's like to actually be bored, and therefore why it's not actually a bad thing. And by removing all this technology from my life in such an immediate and drastic way, it really didn't take me too long when I had my first bit of spare time to realize that boredom's not a bad thing, and it's not something that I should be scared of, but rather something that I should be embracing and looking forward to. Because how luxurious of me to have spare time and downtime where I can be bored. The biggest thing I noticed when I was bored was that my creativity flourishes. I find it so much easier to create when I'm not tempted to consume instead, and what I create is always so much better. I'm also much more likely to do things that I don't normally do, or try things that I've never tried before, which has really helped me get out of my comfort zone in these past 7 days. And when I'm stuck with a creative problem, I am finding that by letting myself be bored, instead of just going and consuming, I find that my brain subconsciously ticks over and I find creative solutions, and solutions that I never would have thought of. And it's like when I'm bored, my brain just goes into these little rabbit holes and I find information that I didn't know I had, and just, solve problems that I hadn't been able to solve before. And I can't help but think back to when I was a kid and it was school holidays and my brothers and I were bored, and we'd go inside and tell mum, and she would always say to us that it was good to be bored. We shouldn't always be entertained, and don't worry, you'll think of something to do soon. And I mean, she was right. Those afternoons where we started off bored, they were the most memorable and most fun afternoons. We just played games that we made up in our heads, and we just created this fantasy world, and that was always where we had the most fun and made the most memories. I also find that I am wanting to connect with people a lot more. I find myself much more inclined to want to sit down and have those deep and meaningful chats with my friends, my family, my boyfriend, and just, learn more about them, or just talk about things that we wouldn't really talk about if we had the choice to turn to a screen instead. And I find myself valuing and just having a much better time when I have these discussions and share these moments with these really special people in my life. And along with this, I'm just generally doing things that are a much better use of my time, in my opinion, and therefore doing things that I'm much more likely to remember. I'm creating memories rather than just shutting my brain off and mindlessly consuming. So for example, the other night I went to my boyfriend's, and normally before we go to bed, we will sit down and we'll watch some Parks and Rec together, and it's a really nice, relaxing time. But instead we just spent the time talking about, you know, our first few dates together and learning new things about each other. And I don't know, we both went to bed much happier and I think feeling a lot more connected than we would have if we just done the usual thing. And what I didn't actually expect to happen was that being bored was actually me having free time and being able to do whatever I wanted. So it was like, remember when you were at school and it might have been a Friday afternoon and your teachers had no more work to give you, so they just said, oh, you can have free time. And that was so exciting because you got to do whatever you wanted. That's kind of how I feel that's happened with me being bored now, is that I don't have any other obligations. I have no limits. I don't have to go to work or school or uni or anything. This is the time where I get to decide what I want to do. It's like my free time, and that has just been so liberating. I have free time. It's amazing. Okay, so that wraps this video up. Thank you so much for watching. What? I really hope you found value in this topic.
Who even are you?
I upload new videos every Thursday, and I really, really can't wait to see you on the next one.
Who are you talking to?
Good luck with the rest of the month. Bye.
Wait.